Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 320, the ebbs and flows of baseball. I'm Nick, and as always, we got Harrison again tonight. How we doing tonight, Harrison?
Fantastic, Nick. A bit of a weird week in baseball. We'll get into it, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Had to go to Boston this weekend. I got to meet up with Michael Simpson for lunch. I mean, that was pretty cool to meet one of our fellow followers slash podcasters slash colleague, I guess. So
Yeah,
it was really cool to meet with him and talk some ball and actually like sit down with somebody in person. So it was pretty cool, but
yeah.
pretty good trip
Condolences.
to Boston. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, pretty good trip to Boston.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to get into tonight and what kind of shape the league is in. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links in our link tree at the top of all of our socials. So if you do any shopping with these companies, please use our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. We also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers, handy dandy phone cases. Look at this thing. I know you want one. There's tons of cases there for different models of phones. So check that out on Etsy. And we also have Patreon. We are focusing on trying to build that up and get a lot of support over there because that platform will support creators unlike other platforms at the moment. So please check us out on Patreon and really looking to build that up.
Yeah,
All right.
you'll see more videos are being posted over there. We're getting more active over there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's start off with some news. Joe Adell's glove from the 3-home run robbery game is heading to Cooperstown. Like, obviously, right? Whenever there's a big moment in the league that's unique or historic, Cooperstown's usually on the phone that night, being like, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing with that glove? You're sending it here, right?" And they're like, "Well, I guess I have to break in a new one now." But yeah, pretty cool. Because I mean that's a game that we're never gonna forget for a while.
No, that will live in infamy for a long time. Just the fact that he stole three, they were all legit. At the same time, like it kind of sucks because you got your glove broken in, you're all set to go, and the Hall of Fame's like, hey, we're gonna take that, send it over here, and you're like, really? Come on, man! Like I got the glove where I wanted. I just robbed 3 home runs. I want to keep playing with it, but like I get the history of it, but it's always tough to like you got to give up the bat, the gloves, the bat and gloves, the it's like,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of attached to those things.
I wonder if it's like a question, like, hey, like when you're done with that, can we have it? Or is it like, hey, we need that immediately? You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, what the premise is, I guess, for lack of a
Yeah,
better
kind of the
word. Like,
tone of it. It's
yeah.
I, I was always under the impression it was hey, we really want that. Is there any reason you can't give it to us? It was more like we plan on taking it unless you give us a really good reason not to. I do know there's been certain milestones where like it wasn't an option. Like there are certain balls, there are certain bats, there are certain milestones where like when it happened, we were taking the gear no matter what. Um, but I think some of these it's more like, hey, we'd like that glove. There's no reason we can't have it, right? Right, Joe? You're gonna give that to us, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I just had a picture in my head that McGuire comes around for home run 62, and they just strip him down at home plate, and they just run to Cooperstown with his entire uniform. Like,
the dude's in
I
his
mean,
socks and underwear at home plate.
yeah, probably not even his socks. Let's be honest. Um, but I mean, these guys have multiple gloves. I get it, but like at that point, if I'm Joe Adell, it's like, dude, I just had the game of my life with this thing. Like, I don't want to give it up anytime soon. Right? I put on a new glove, I make 5 errors the next night. Like, that'd be my
Yeah,
luck, right?
gonna be so mad.
Yeah. But still, I mean, it's pretty dang cool. Like we talked to Mark Fredrickson, who is the official scorer for the Braves, and he has a scorecard from Bob Horner's 4-home run game in there. So like he has an artifact in there. So I would imagine it is an incredible honor to have something of yours in the Baseball Hall of Fame at any given time. So I'm sure these players, because let's face it, 1% of them, if that, less than 1% of them make the Hall of Fame. This
Yeah.
might be their only chance to have something in the Hall. So yeah, I think it's here you go.
Yeah. I mean, and it's one of those things that I'm sure it's an honor to give up the equipment, but like, there are some questions in the chat, what if the player doesn't want to let go of the glove? I don't believe the Hall of Fame, again, the Hall of Fame is not run by Major League Baseball. It's a separate organization. They have no pull. Like, I think they encourage and, probably do everything but like steal it from you to try to get it. But at the end of the day, like if you tell them no, I don't think they have any recourse to be like, well, tough, you can't tell us no. Now there are certain milestones where MLB stepped in and said, like, this is not an option. This is going to the Hall of Fame. But I think a situation like this, if Joe Adele really didn't want to give up the glove, I think that they would just have to drop it. Um, but I do think that the general consensus is that the Hall of Fame calls for something, you give it to them.
Yeah.
It's considered an honor to have your stuff sitting there in the museum.
You got hit by 7 pitches. What are your plans with that cup? I mean, I mean, legit. No, that's an awesome flat cheese. I would have given them a
Oh, God.
different glove, Chad says. Aaron says, you mean Cooperstown has never asked for some incredible episodes you've done? Well, they can get them for free off YouTube. So, no, they haven't asked if there's one playing there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Cooper sounds like these yahoos again.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Scroll past it
Yeah. Someday, Harrison. Someday. It'll be
someday.
pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Um, yeah, I guess if you tell them no, they just could say they won't vote for you later.
Probably won't anyways. And they don't seem to vote for guys that make any sense.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a cool moment in baseball history, and definitely deserves an exhibit in Cooperstown. So cool for Joe
Yeah.
Adele. Cool moment.
Very cool. And Mike Reed brings up the old story of Emmett Smith wearing the 4 different jerseys in the game to make sure that he actually could get one when he was breaking the record that night.
Yeah,
I mean, I know there's situations where, like, during the home run chase, McGuire was swapping out, batting gloves constantly, bats constantly. I mean, he was even going through multiple jerseys in some cases during games. We've seen that with some of these rookies. They do that new rookie patch card where, like, these guys are swapping out jerseys after their debut.
yeah,
Like, there's so much of that now built into the game, partially for memorabilia, but um, you know, partially because it's part of kind of keeping that history.
yeah, 1,000%. Uh, none of our episodes are able to play in public because of this chat. Oh, you guys, man, that's
I
awesome.
mean, John, you're not wrong. I mean, if
Oh,
if this chat has to be censored some nights, and when
oh
I
my
say some
god.
nights, I mean most nights.
Yeah, love it. All right. Jose Ramirez is now the franchise leader in games played for the Cleveland Indians slash Guardians. He is the only active player to have a franchise lead, which I mean, duh.
Yeah,
But still pretty amazing to have the franchise lead where he does with such a historic franchise. I mean, this franchise goes back forever, like the beginning of time. I think Jesus played for them at one point. So it's
pretty
like,
much. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, they have been around a long time. And it's either it says something about the Cleveland front office that no one stayed there that long, or it says something for Ramirez, or it says something for both. Um, we talk about this guy being the most undervalued player in the MLB, and I don't think it's close. I really don't. But pretty cool milestone here for Jose Ramirez.
yeah. I will say I do think that Jose Ramirez is now beginning to get more attention because you just can't ignore the fact he's a top 5 MVP guy every single season. Um, and I think he's finally starting to get some attention. Not nearly what he deserves. Um, but it's nice to see him start to get some attention. And the other night, he became the first Guardians player to homer against all 29 other teams. So
Yeah.
he set that one 2 nights ago, and he just continues to do stuff that organizations never seen before, and will continue to do that because he's just going to rewrite pretty much their entire record book. It's going to be a joke when he retires. Like it's going to be the offensive side of the record book is going to be just his name over and over and over again. Like there's going to be like no records he doesn't hold.
No, And John, he is going to be number one. There's no way. I mean, yes, I'm with you. Top three, most definitely. By the time his career's over, he's got to be the number one player in that franchise history, right? I
Has to
mean,
be. He's
I
gonna.
know they've had some great ones, but come on now.
I mean, he's gonna hold every offensive record they have, and he's gonna hold a lot of the defensive records too, except for the guys that played, you know, before they were kept. Um,
Right.
he's gonna rewrite those record books, and yes, I firmly believe he's on the Mount Rushmore of Cleveland baseball, if
Yeah.
not the number one guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's on the Mount Rushmore now.
Yeah,
Like he's going to be number one by the time he's done compiling the numbers he is, and he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, if you are on one franchise like this your entire career, you're putting up the numbers for that franchise. You can't look at Jose Ramirez and be like, "Yeah, let's leave him off the Hall of Fame ballot."
well, and I think what puts him over the top too is the fact like he's also just loved by that fan base.
Yeah.
He's like a god in Cleveland. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not sure if that's saying a lot, being considered a god in Cleveland, but he is, and I think that that fan base loves him. He loves being there. It's incredible.
Yeah. And he just continues to do it. Like it's like there's no he's so steady at a
Yeah.
high level. There's no dips. Like it's wild what he's doing.
It's obnoxious. It's obnoxious as an opposing fan to just know that this guy is going to just he's going to do whatever the hell he wants to do every single season like clockwork, and
Yeah.
you can't stop him.
Yeah, even as an opposing team, it's like, how do we get this guy out? And it's like, well, we don't.
Y-
It's kind of like that whiteboard message that the Mariners put up, like, don't hit the ball to Joe Adell. Well, don't pitch the ball to Jose Ramirez.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
we have to.
the old Jesus Shuttlesworth. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
Yeah.
Um, you're not gonna prevent this guy from hurting you. You just try to minimize the damage.
Yeah. Curtis says when he gets 400 more hits, he'll definitely be the king of the Guardians. Yeah.
The guard
Guardian
Indians.
Indians. I love that. Um, and it's coming. In 2 years, he's going to have that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's foolish. It's foolish when he retires. Like how big a gap there's going to be between him and everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, he's Thean in Cleveland. Yeah, he's a god for sure. All right. Brent Rooker hits the IL with an oblique strain. Kind of not at a great moment for the A's. They're playing well. They've won 5 straight. They're finally starting to hit the ball. And we've seen the problems with obliques. They tend to linger a little bit. So hopefully this isn't a massive, massive IL stint for Brent Rooker and the A's.
No, and Rooker finally looked like he was turning the corner too. He had this that 2 home run game, and he finally looked like his swing is coming around, and then boom, oblique strain. There's been a kind of a wild rash of injuries around the league the last couple of weeks. Just stuff like this popping up left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, that 2 homer game he capped off with a walk-off, right? That was the one
Yeah,
against the Astros. Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yep. So tough break for the A's there, but I love this man. I love the A's. I've said it all the time, but yeah, unlucky he's out 2 months. Yeah, I would say that obliques tend to be quite a while. So we'll
Well,
see.
and for your swing, like it's so brutal.
Yep.
It's such a tough injury for a hitter.
Yep. Let's move over to the Pirates here. Connor Griffin joins Alan Trammell, Avon Rodriguez, Andrew Jones, and Adrian Beltre. Pretty dang good company. As the only teenagers to reach base safely in their first 3+ games to start their career. Pretty dang good start, I would say.
Yeah, are those other guys good? I can't tell.
They're all right.
I don't recognize their names.
No, just
Um,
just a few Hall of Famers.
yeah, it's we say it so many times in the show. Like we just continue to see these young guys come up, and they just like immediately produce, and they're these freak athletes just over and over and over again. And Connor Griffin, like he just looks like he belongs. And yes, he's had moments already where he's looked way overmatched. Moments he's looked like an absolute stud, and he's going to have those moments. That's part of being a young player. But man, does he
Mhm.
look like he belongs?
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's going to be on the cover of the show 27. If he keeps this, Connor Griffin, Hall of Fame already. Yeah, I mean, I just hope that he is a catalyst
Yeah.
to propel this team forward. That's all I want. I want the Pirates to be relevant again. That it's a lot to ask, I understand, but I just want the Pirates to be relevant again. And I
Well,
think
don't
that,
don't look now, but 10% of the way through the season, they're in first place.
yeah, love it. Well, and why are they in first place, Harrison? Oh, because they waited until the 11th game to give up their first homer.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
we said it coming out of spring training, like this rotation is really good. If you can get them a few bats, which they did, this could be a really good team. I mean, that Pirates rotation last year was one of the better rotations in the NL. They just couldn't score any damn runs.
no,
And now you add
zero.
a few bats, and now it's like, oh wow, this pitching staff's really good. They already were. Like
Yeah.
now you finally got some bats to back them up.
So, very hypothetical here. I'm going to preface it by saying very hypothetical. If the Pirates have a decent to very decent season, like maybe miss the playoffs by a couple games, maybe even somehow sneak into a wild card spot, and they have another decent offseason, does Skeens think about staying?
No,
You don't think so? There's no
no,
chance?
they'll never be able to pay him what he wants and what he's worth. I mean, he is a generational talent, and there's not going to be a hometown discount there. He's going to go to the highest bidder, and it won't be Pittsburgh. Um,
Whoa. Yeah, fair.
I just, I mean, even if he wanted to stay, there's no way the Pirates could make that work. So I mean, I think for sure Skeens ends up he's either going to be a Met, a Yankee, a Dodger. Probably the only three teams that legitimately could sign him, and he'll end up in one of those three places.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong here, Michael. I mean, Skeens alone makes the staff
I mean,
top half of the league. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately you're right. He's not going to take a Jose Ramirez hometown discount.
well,
It's
and
not happening.
it was telling too when Connor Griffin signed the contract, and the first thing Paul Skeens said is, "That's terrific. He'll be the face of this franchise for a long time." Paul Skeens was basically handing the baton off right then and there, saying, "I'm out. Like this is your team, kid. I'm just here until they move me."
Now, we might have to change our tune though, depending on what happens in 2027. Because if they change the whole structure of how teams can spend money and they close the deferral cap, all 30 teams might be in on Paul Skeens, right?
I mean,
Could he go
no,
to could he
but
go to a lesser market because they don't have any of the big contracts to like try to shuffle around to get him in there? Like the
yeah, I mean,
Dodgers would be up
it,
against the cap, there would be no space to put him. So
yeah, I
would
mean,
he end up
you might open up some opportunities for him to go somewhere else, but it's not one of those things like all of a sudden the whole league's in play. It's going to be one of those situations where like instead of three teams being in play, maybe eight are in play now.
yeah,
I think the other part of it too is that I think a lot of general managers, if they're going to be in a salary cap world, as we see in the NFL, aren't going to want to commit that kind of money to one guy. It's really hard to give, 15-20% of your total cap to a single guy because this isn't like the NFL where like if you have the best quarterback in the league, you're one of the best teams.
right.
Paul Skeens alone doesn't completely change the direction of your team. You've got to have pieces around him. So I don't know how many more opportunities it opens. It does definitely opens more, but I still think he's going to end up in one of those bigger markets because if I'm Paul Skeens, I'm looking at it as this is not just about the contract I'm going to sign. It's about the opportunities and endorsements I can also get.
Right.
And if I'm in LA or New York, it's a whole lot different than being in St. Louis. Um, my opportunities are going to be way bigger in those cities.
Yeah, that's fair. And Curtis says Skeens is West Coast. Dodgers, Padres, or Angels. Straight West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a team like the Padres making a move or the Angels making a move. They're the kind of teams that might surprise you. Um, I don't think there's a lot of other teams that will necessarily shock us, but I would love to see. Yeah, I was just going to say this, Aaron. I would love to see like the A's come out of nowhere and drag him to Vegas with them because talk about a centerpiece.
A centerpiece, and the timing almost works out perfect.
Yep.
I mean, that's not a bad take at all, Aaron. I like that a lot. Um, Yeah, for me, it's just going to be interesting to see. I think we'll learn a lot about Scooble here in the offseason. Because if he waits until after the lockout's over, we're going to see what these contracts really look like instead of us sitting here speculating about it. Because honestly, I couldn't give you years, numbers, because we just don't know.
Yeah, no idea.
If the cap's going to be in place or if they're going to keep the same form. Like, we don't know. So I think waiting until we see what happens with Scooble, we'll have a better-ish idea of what Skeens could possibly get.
Yeah, I think the one thing Skeens has working for him is that Scooble's going to be the first guy to sign. Crochet already signed, but that was kind of a different deal. That was not necessarily like a on the free agent market deal. Like, he got traded there, he extended, perfect, good deal for everybody all around.
Right.
But Scooble's going to be the first guy to actually go out onto the market and see what it's like. And then that's going to tell us a lot about what Skeens might look at. Because again, Skeens is the better pitcher and the younger pitcher,
Right.
and also has shown he tends to be the more durable pitcher. So I think he's got a lot of things to his advantage. Whatever Scooble goes and gets, Skeens going to get more.
Yeah. And you think there's no chance that a team goes in and signs him before the lockout, right?
I would doubt it. I mean, it'd be hard. It'd be hard to, just timing wise. The season ends in late October, early November. That CBA expires beginning of December. You'd have to sign him like immediately within 30 days of the season ending, and that's going to be hard to get it. It's going to be hard to get a team to want to make that kind of commitment, not knowing the rules. Walking right into this, and it's going to be hard for a guy like Scooble to commit, not knowing what the future holds. Like, it's going to be a really tight window to try to jam a really big contract into. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen. I think that's going to be hard to pull off.
Well, we even said, like, even after the lockout, as the teams start to try to ramp up for the season to get right back into it, like, it's still like when the lockout ends, there's still like a month before they start up because they want to get these guys in and moving and right. That could still be negotiation period for Scooble because no one's talking to no one
right
during this lockout. So he's just kind of out in purgatory waiting for something to happen. Scooble could be signing late with one of these teams. So we still might not even know as soon as the lockout ends. So
yeah,
crazy.
I think there's three scenarios here for Scooble. If the Tigers don't perform and he gets traded sometime this year, he may look to extend with wherever he lands, which maybe that's in LA, who knows. So he may look to extend somewhere else if he gets traded. He may try to squeeze a deal in before the lockout. I think that's going to be hard. Or the third scenario is he's going to be scrambling to find a deal when things start back up. In which case, he might only get a 1-year deal at that point because they got to jam something together real fast so he can get to whatever sort of quote unquote spring training they're going to have, so he can get ready. So I think for Scooble, the timing of this sucks because this is a big contract window for him, and it's going to get completely jacked up.
Yeah, massively. And Greg says gut feeling on Scooble is going to get boned if he waits, and he totally could. It depends on what comes out of this CBA. None of us have any clue, right? That's a good point, Greg. I mean, they could be slashing what we've seen these free agent contracts be. I mean, I can't even put a word on how astronomical these are, but I see Scooble getting less especially if there's a cap. There's no way, right? Would you think length of years or dollars will be cut in half or both?
Honestly, I think that when the lockout comes back up and it's going to be this mad scramble to sign people, Scooble might be lucky to get a 1-year deal because it's going to be really hard to negotiate a 6, 7, 8-year deal when you're scrambling to get started. Like, nobody's going to have the real capacity to sit there and go through that exercise in the right amount of time to put it together before they have to report and get ready. I think it's going to be, I think Scooble is going to end up probably having to take a 1-year deal at the back end of this thing to let the dust settle, to then go get the real contract if he doesn't sign before.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine trying to negotiate an 8-year deal for that kind of money in like a 2-week window as
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out where the hell I'm going to get ready.
right. And Aaron, this is a fair point slash question. I wish injury on nobody, but I think Skeens has Tommy John within 2 to 3 years. So with a guy that hasn't had Tommy John yet,
Mhm.
is that a worry for teams when he comes up?
I mean, I think we've seen time and time again, teams expect Tommy John at this point. It's kind of baked into their plan. Um, and if you can get Paul Skeens, you throw everything you have to at Skeens, knowing that yeah, you might miss a year. He might miss a whole year for you, year and a half. But in the end, it's still going to be worth it.
Yeah. And John, I'm kind of with you here. If I was him, I'm getting paid right now. Come hell or high water, I'm not missing out on 350 million if they drop a salary cap. I think he kind of missed that. I mean, the Tigers wanted to extend him. I can't remember what the deals were, but they were
Terrible.
miles apart. Right. Is his only chance for an extension if he gets dealt at the deadline. And then teams might not even be willing to talk extension with the expiring CBA. So I think he's kind of just toast, I think, right now until we figure this out.
Yeah, I think the Tigers tried to over leverage him, and I think Scooble put himself in this position a little bit too, where he's now stuck. The Tigers aren't extending him. He's not re-signing there. If he doesn't get traded, he's just playing out the year to walk into this work stoppage. Um, he doesn't have a clear path right now to get that extension before things shut down. It doesn't mean that when the season ends, he won't have teams calling trying to jam a deal in before it happens. But I just don't know how many teams are going to be excited to, make a huge commitment when they're walking into a lot of uncertainty. And it gives him very little time to actually get the deal he wants. He's going to have to kind of take what's available, which again, I don't think it puts him in a great spot. I think he's in a pretty terrible spot to be going to get what could be the biggest contract of his career.
Yeah. Yeah. Rolina, 5 years, 30 million per year. He wanted 30 million per year, but 10 years. So you're thinking maybe the years get slashed in half. And that could be it. Maybe teams, if they come out with a cap, teams are like, yeah, we'll give you the 30 million, but we definitely can't commit to a 10-year deal. Like it's 5 years. That's all we have. Here's $150 million in that, in that 5 years. And then you can go out and find something else. Maybe that's how teams are going to do it. Maybe they have higher salaries with less years. So they don't financially strap themselves for 10 years. I don't know.
Maybe.
Again, it's just,
Or maybe it's one of those, we're going to do a 3-year deal, but it's got, opt outs at the end of both, or, and that way we've got the flexibility to be like, nope, this isn't working. We gotta cut it and move on.
so that's the other thing, right? So say we've talked about the deferral part. We haven't really talked about the signing bonus aspect of it. Because what's to say, like, a team's preventing me from signing Scooble to, 5 years, $2 million a year, like Shohei, but instead of deferring it, I give him a $68 million signing bonus. What? I mean,
It just all goes into that year.
right. It would still count towards the cap that year.
Yeah, so I mean, it's in a cap world, it changes. When you do the signing bonus in the luxury tax world, you can actually record some of that almost against the prior year. Like you can get creative with how you spread it around.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it all just gets jammed in.
Yeah, I knew it was Joseph, and I don't know why I said that, but my bad. Yeah, I, I don't know. I can't even speculate because I have no idea what's going to be happening, but kind of crazy to talk about.
It's wild to think that you've got one of the handful of best players in baseball who's literally got like zero leverage, and he's walking into a terrible situation for a contract, all because of this work stoppage nonsense that nobody seems to want to stop. Like they're just letting this train go right off the rails.
No, everybody wants it to stop. Nobody wants to prevent it from stopping.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, nobody wants to prevent this.
Yeah.
You can see the train wreck coming, but everybody's just going to let it happen.
Yeah. We'll just stand back and record it on our phones. That's what everybody else does around here. Anywho, all right, let's get into kind of the state of the MLB at this moment. Yankees have lost 5 straight. The Mets have lost 5 straight. The Brewers have lost 5 straight. The Astros have lost 7 straight. What is happening to our quote unquote top tier teams right now?
For most of them, it's a combination of injuries and offensives that have gone just like completely silent. Um, the Yankees have got nothing going. The Mets, they get they got guys that are dinged up. But again, like they got nothing going. I mean, and now they're calling up Kimbrell because their bullpen's kind of a mess. I mean, they're a mess. The Brewers are doing what we thought they would do, which was they just don't have. They've given up a lot the last couple of years, and it's finally starting to catch up with them. Um, and then the Astros they've just been a total disaster. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about them.
Yeah, and it's weird because the Astros kind of started. They might just be that team. They just might be streaky all year, right? They started off the season losing 2 or 3 straight to the Angels, and then they kind of turned it around.
Yep.
Obviously against the Red Sox, because anybody can turn their season around when they play the Red Sox, but that's a different story. And then they just seem to be on that downward slide again. So they just might be one of those teams that it's like they win 5, they lose 5, they win 5, they lose 5. But injuries are a huge issue for sure. I mean, the Mets right now losing Soto, that's a massive bat to be missing in the middle of that lineup. Say what you want
Yeah.
about him, he's still a damn good baseball player.
Well, and like I mentioned before, like we've seen so many of these like injuries lately pop up, and it's big players, and it's weird stuff. It's ankles, it's hamstrings. Yelich left the game today with a hamstring, and basically after the game, the Brewers were saying we expect bad news. Like there was fluid, there was swelling. Like we expect bad news. Like we expect we're going to lose him for a while. Um, but it's. I feel like every day it's like some other big name goes down, and they're going to be out for a little while, and it's all this like weird stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the season is very unique, borderline weird start. 1,000%. And it's hard for us to sit and talk about like how our teams are doing when it's like I don't know. Like I was about ready to throw the towel in on the Red Sox, and they've rattled off. They've looked pretty good. Well, I'll say Wilson Contreras has looked really good the last
Yeah,
3 or 4 games. But Durant's starting to hit. Red Sox are starting to figure it out a little bit. And then your top tier, the Blue Jays are a train wreck.
a mess, and they've got like 9 guys now on the IL. They've got more guys that are friggin' hurt than they can than they've got on the roster. It's brutal, and they just keep dropping. Um, and John Temple, the Astros, their spot starter gets hurt today. Like
Yeah,
they can't even get a pitcher through a start right now. Ime's being evaluated for arm issues already.
right.
We'll get into that in the discussion topics, but like it's brutal right now. And every day I look and there's some other player leaving a game or getting scratched who's going to miss time, and it's like, man, it is just piling up.
I had thought about doing an injury slide, and then I was like, we don't have enough time to cover all of them.
You can't fit
I
them.
was like, no, no. Yeah, and then the Twins wins, 4 straight against Detroit. I mean,
Oh,
like things are weird. You're right, Forrest. Like what is happening? Like, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
John Carter messaged me earlier, and he's like, "Hey, if a meteor struck and the season ended now, the Twins are in the playoffs." And
yeah.
I was like, "God dang, man,
So
it's weird."
so are the Miami Marlins, and the Phillies and Mets are both out. Like it's so weird right now.
Yeah. But I mean, again, like I get it. We're 2 weeks in, right?
Yeah,
Like
we're
it's a
10% of the
long
way through.
grind. Right. And baseball's weird. I just it's just yeah, total chaos. John Temple, cats and dogs living together. Total chaos. That's kind of what it is right now, for sure.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I can. This is one of the weirder starts I can remember, where everything just seems upside down.
Yeah.
Um, and it's injuries, it's poor performances, it's just weird games. We'll get into this in the discussion topics, but the Rays absolutely embarrassed the Yankees the other night in extra innings by bunting. It's so bad and so weird.
Greg says we could have a pitcher spontaneously combust into a pile of ash, and I'd be like, yeah, that's the 2026 season.
Oh, I
Uh,
mean,
two,
honestly,
yeah, 2 weeks of wildness. Yeah, absolutely, Curtis.
I'm loving the chaos, but at the same time, like I don't know what to make of any of it. Like I don't know if some of these teams are playing well or legit, if some of the teams that aren't. I don't know. Every time I think you start to get a read on a team, they go completely the other direction.
Joseph said, "You quiet your mouth, baseball history dork. That sweep never happened. It was a glitch in the matrix." Coming from a Tigers fan.
Oh, I
Yeah,
mean, and one day they're celebrating the fact that AJ Hinch has got 400 wins to the team and he's now like in their top whatever, and the next day they're wondering if they should fire him because the team's playing so poorly.
yeah. I mean, and this is it, right, Forrest? I mean, next week at this same time, we could be like, oh, yeah, Yankees have won 6 straight. Houston's won 6 straight. Like, all these teams could just all of a sudden bust one off. Like, I get it. It's the schedule, it's traveling, right? Traveling's a huge issue sometimes. Like, you just get in a funk, your team's tired, don't have an off day. You got a 4-game series backed up with a 3-game, you play in 13 games straight. Like, there's tons of factors. I get it. But like
Yeah.
you said, it's like, oh, like, okay, Yankees are cranking right now, and they don't even have their pitchers going. This is what we said like last show or last week. And we're like, man, this team's scary. And now we're just kind of like, oh, maybe not. Like what happened? It's weird. You
It
can't get
is.
a read on anyone.
No, it is a very strange start. And I
Eh,
find myself just kind of confused by all of it right now because I don't know what to make of it. But I do know that like some of these teams, I mean, and at the same time, like I look at the Mets, like I didn't have a lot of expectation for them. So like not surprised. The Brewers, I didn't have high expectations for them, not surprised. But like the Yankees and Astros, like thought they were going to be good teams. And they are so Jekyll and Hyde, it's not even funny.
Yeah. I It's so strange. But meanwhile, like I'm gonna say this, but gotta give the Dodgers credit a little bit, right? Like it is extremely hard to repeat
Yep.
because of this reason. Like health is probably the main reason, right? Like you have to be somewhat lucky to get back to the World Series, right? You can't have that fluke injury at the wrong time. And I get it that the Dodgers are deep, and that's kind of why we are on them like we are. But like you have to give them credit because they have maintained a pretty healthy core for the most part. I know Mookie Betts is kind of trying to come back from injury, but still, like the most part, like their core stays together because they're on the field. That's a huge thing. Like you can keep your team intact. Is it lucky? Sure, I guess you could say that's lucky, but it's also what they've built.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, your performance or your results are going to be dictated by the guys that are on the field.
Right.
If your stars aren't out there, then you're going to get what you get. And it's important that when you go and pick the guys you're going to make the big commitments to, you pick right.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got a team in the Tampa Bay Rays tied for first place in the AL East with a negative 10 run differential. I mean, it's everything about this season just feels upside down. Um,
Yep.
and and like Michael said, the Braves are currently sitting in first place, which is not a surprise to me. What surprises me is they look like the best team in the National League right now. That pitching staff is absolutely lights out, top to bottom right now, and they're not supposed to be.
Right. Yeah. Aaron, this is a great point, and you were backed up in the chat. You can't win in
Yeah.
April, but you can get buried early, and
Yep.
that's yeah, crushed it. John asked, Dodgers are the only team 5+ over. I think the Padres are. Oh, they're 4 over
Padres are
500.
4.
Yeah, so Dodgers are the only ones.
Yep.
Everyone else is either
Yeah.
1, Guardians are 3.
There's a lot of 9 and 7s, not 9 and 6s and 8 and 7s right now.
Yeah. Dang. Wow.
Yeah, Just strange. That's our word for the start of this year is strange.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
And
you look at some of the schedules though. Like the Brewers didn't play a National League team for like the first 12 games or something like that. It was
yeah,
crazy.
and the Brewers have yet to play a single game against a team over 500. They've had a very soft schedule and they've struggled with it.
Yeah.
And their offense has been good, but their pitching has been not good.
Yeah. Man.
And our poor Colorado Rockies have lost 4 in a row. Things finally caught up with them.
You know, it was fun when it lasted. It was fun while it
It was a great
lasted.
week. It was a great week.
It was. But on to 2028. On to
Yeah,
2028.
2032 for the
Yeah.
Rockies.
Yeah, either way. Whatever. All right, we got some out of left field discussion topics this week. Harrison, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I've got some stuff that's I think kind of more current and topical. It's just stuff that I've been thinking of, reading about in the news. I'm like, let's get into it a little bit. So,
All right. What's the first one?
all right. So this first question comes from that 10th inning. So I'm not sure if anybody saw it, but the Yankees lost to the Rays in extra innings the other night. The Rays dropped down 2 bunts. The Yankees could not handle either one of them. They looked like little leaguers, and the Rays walked them off. And that was a big part of why. So my question is, after seeing that, like, what has happened to bunting? Why is it a skill issue? Is it teams that want to take the risk? Like whenever we talk all the time on the show about the fact that like the quality of the defense is so low now. Why are we not bunting more? What's happened?
It's because of that whole money ball mentality was like, why am I sacrificing an out? Like I only get 3 outs in an inning. Why am I giving one up? Right? I think that's where that whole mindset came from was Moneyball. It's like, why are we giving this team an opportunity to get us out? Right? So that's where the mentality started. But the game wasn't played then like it is now. Like it is very much like you said, drop and drive. Like, yes, this guy can't catch a cold, but we're still going to try to just sit back and jack homers. Now, I think we will start. I've seen teams bunt more this year than I have the
Mhm.
last few years. I think we are going to see the tide kind of change here because teams don't know how to field a bunt anymore. They don't go over
They
bunt
don't.
defense in spring training. There's no way they do.
God, I mean, and the Yankees butchered it twice in the same inning and just gave the game to the Rays because they could not field a bunt. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't think of the last time I saw a guy bunt and he was cleanly thrown out. I feel like every time a guy bunts, like they get on base, whether they just misplay it, they eat it, or they throw it away. Like I feel like every time I see somebody put a bunt down, something good happens, but then like you don't see it again.
Yeah. Yeah. The ball ends up in right field, down the right field line, almost
Terrible.
80% of the time. Um, yeah, the Brewers are the only team playing baseball the old fashioned way. And
Yeah.
we saw it last year. They were crazy successful with it because teams couldn't handle the defensive pressure of it.
Right.
Um,
And that's
I,
and the one way you can get around this elite pitching is bunting. Like get the ball in play and put some pressure on the defense. If you can't string together 3 hits against Paul Skeens, don't. But if you get a
right.
guy on base, start creating some chaos, move him around, bunt him, hit and run. Like, you know, try to create that edge where you have the defense trying to react. But
Yeah.
we just see teams stand there and take 3 pitches and walk back to the dugout. It's like, what are we doing? And I will say, like, a lot of times the technique on bunting is so wretched. Like these
It's
guys just
brutal.
don't know how to bunt anymore.
Yeah.
But like there's with all the speed we have in this league, there's so much speed in this league. And with all the talent these guys have, you have to think like there's bunt hits to be had.
Yeah.
There's errors to be created. There's runs to be scored. And the Rays proved it the other night. Like, and I said it on the last show. Like, I watched the Astros game. where they scored 4 runs in an inning and the ball never left the infield, except for the 2 times they threw it down the right field line. Like, catchers can't field the positions, pitchers can't field the positions, nobody can field a bunt. It's just it's brutal. It's just brutal to watch, but yet one of the great advantages against good pitching is bunting, and nobody wants to do it.
And it's not even just bunting. Like, I'm going to go back to the Brewers here in the Red Sox series.
Yeah.
They beat Garrett Crochet because they just put the ball in play. They were just, it's contact. In
Yeah.
some games, that's not gonna work, right? I mean, because the defense actually had a good game, right? But if they're constantly doing it and they're constantly putting the pressure on the defense, they're gonna fold. Like, I've never seen so many errors than I have the past 2 or 3 years. Right? I remember growing up, like it was rare to see an error in the box score, like when they flashed it up in between innings. Right? Now it's
Yeah.
like you see 2 or 3 on
By the
each
5th
team.
inning.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wonder if you do start seeing teams really start to change their narrative and kind of flow back into quote unquote baseball the way it should be played. But it is the whole mentality from the beginning of this whole metrics thing. Like, why are we giving a team a free out?
Yeah, but then you see bunting in practice, and there's no free outs because nobody can field the damn thing.
Right.
It's, I mean, and I get the Moneyball perception of you don't want to give away the out, but at the same time, it feels like more often than not something good comes from a bunt. It's you probably have a higher percentage of getting on base on a bunt than you do on in any other situation right now
Yeah.
with guys hitting 240. You're telling me you couldn't get on base better than 24% of the time with a bunt? I'd be shocked if that stat doesn't play to your favor now.
Yeah. Scott says no launch angle and bunting. Well, if you've actually watched some of these guys bunt, there's actually quite a bit of launch angle in some of these bunts.
Well, and Michael corrected him too. There's a launch angle. It's just usually negative, but it's
Yeah.
there.
But I've seen a
But
lot of popped up bunts too, like really
tons.
bad ones. But um,
Well, the technique is pretty bad. Like even this one right here, like flat bat and all that. Like you're
mhm.
taught in Little League not to bunt
Yep.
like that.
No, the Yanks couldn't field a thought last night.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Um,
Well, I'm
man,
pretty sure that
it's
one of the first bunt that got thrown away was thrown away by McMahon, who's usually such a good defender.
yeah,
And then the second was thrown away by the pitcher. I'm pretty sure. Like it was just
yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, what's ironic is small ball comes back in the playoffs when runs are at a premium. And that's a great point, Aaron. We see small ball come back, and how many times even in the playoffs do we see it executed correctly? Not
Yeah.
many, but it's pretty much gone. I hate that. I watched I watched the game today. I mean, take it as you will. It was the Royals and White Sox, but they had they had bases loaded, one out, and they hit just a little dribbler up the third baseline. Like he wasn't bunting, but the pitcher comes in to like shovel it home, and the catcher's not even ready to catch it. He's pointing to first base. And it
I
was a
know.
left-handed pitcher, and he's turned the wrong way because he's expected to shovel it home. The catcher's not ready. He's pointing to first. No one has any idea if that ball is hit on the infield grass. No one has any clue where they're going with a baseball. Zero idea.
No. Well, let's look at Jazz Chisholm the
Oh
other
my
day.
God, brutal.
I mean, runner at third base. He's not even sure if it's a force out if he goes to first base first, then back to second. And it didn't matter because he bobbled it, then flipped it to first, like it mattered because the run was already coming across the plate. Like, I mean, honestly, I am it boggles my mind the level of just general misunderstanding of defensive baseball, but also like just the general disregard for it. Teams like, we don't care. Can you hit? Good. Can you fit a glove in your hand somewhere? Perfect. Get out there. We'll figure it out.
But I throw right-handed. You only have a right-handed glove? Nah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because you're not going to make the play anyways. We're not worried about it. It just it yeah. Sorry, Curtis. Please don't remind me. But I mean, it amazes me. And again, like I go back to when you put the ball in play, there are so many things that can happen, and we see it time and again. When you bunt and put pressure on a defense, they fold. When you have guys on base and put the ball in play, defenses panic. They don't make smart decisions, and it's not always an error. It's like I've said this many times. It's not always about the errors. It's the times you throw behind guys. It's the times you throw to a base too late and other guys advance. Like there are so many other mistakes that are made that can move runners around. And defensively, it's just brutal because these guys just don't get it. Like I get so mad watching these guys play because I'm like, man, there are little leaguers out there that know not to do that. But here you guys are on the biggest stage still doing stupid stuff.
You sent me. I wish I would have recorded my face when you sent me that Jazz Chisholm reel because I I had no words and my face was just like I was dumbfounded that like you didn't know if if you threw the ball to first base first that the force plays off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And then he's like, well, would the run still have scored? Like, how does that work? And it's like, how do you not know this?
I
I mean, I must have watched that video 3 times to make sure that I heard him say that correctly. Cause I'm like, there's no way I heard a Major League Baseball player basically state that I don't know how the force out works.
I I have no words for it.
I I,
I don't.
I was blown away.
Yeah. Yeah. No words. But let's move on from that
Yeah,
before Curtis gets
and I totally agree with Joseph here. Like a bunted out is infinitely worth more than a strikeout because things can happen.
right.
And again, we see it over and over again. Like when the ball gets put in play and you put pressure on the defense consistently, these guys will fall apart
Yeah.
over and over again, every single time.
Yeah.
And I go back to that example. The Rays literally beat the Yankees with two bunts and and a little chopper.
Yeah.
That's all it
That's all it
took.
took. Yeah, I don't Curtis, I was so embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that I'm not even a Yankees fan. Like come on
I
now.
was mad.
Yeah.
I was mad. Like if and this is the worst part, Greg. And then Boone defended him.
Well, of course he did.
But it's like at some point you got to look at the guy and go, "Are you serious right now?" Like who coaches the infielders? Because that guy's getting fired
Okay.
now, like this minute.
Even if you don't know the rule, don't go tell the public that you don't know the rule.
Don't- don't-
Like
it's better for people to think you're stupid than for you to open your
go
mouth and prove that
go
you are.
into Boone's office, shut the door, shut the blinds and be like, "Hey, what is the rule here?" Like don't be just blabbing it to reporters. Like, what are you doing? Just that's an intrusive thought. Like, just keep it in.
Yeah, we that stupid thought came out loud in front of a bunch of cameras.
God dang, who said it back here? Yeah, he's going for the 50-50 season, 50 errors, 50 strikeouts. I just
No, he did say 50-50. He didn't specify which 50-50.
you see what I have to put up with. I just listen. The Red Sox will say something stupid at some point here, Curtis. We'll be with you in a few weeks. Just give us time.
Yeah. Oh, I mean the Red Sox defense is atrocious.
Yeah,
We're not there's no like high ground here to be had, but
none.
I mean and honestly like there's really no good defensive teams left. I mean, the Brewers last year were a good defensive team. They're not off to a great start this year. Um, the Giants are look like they should have been better than they are. They've been wretched. I mean, even the Dodgers are not a good defensive team with all that star power. There's no good defensive teams
Yeah.
left. It is what it is. It's where the game is at. But I get so mad watching these guys strike out with a guy on second and nobody out, or first and second nobody out, and you ground into double play and completely screw the inning up. It's like what are we doing?
Has he reached the strikeouts yet? I don't know if he has, Scott,
Probably
but
he might be getting
yeah.
close.
Yeah, I think Joseph hit the nail on the head. You have an infinitely better percentage of a chance to get on base if you just put the ball in play than you do taking a cock shot down the middle for strike 3. Like, just put the ball in play, for crying out loud. That's all we're asking you to do. Things will happen, even at this level, as we've seen. Just absolutely wild.
Yes, this is a great point, Aaron. Today's player is perhaps the most talented ever, but lack basic fundamentals, being so reliant on back pocket cards, etc. We used to have a word for that. We had guys that were just baseball stupid. We had guys that were incredible athletes, but they were baseball stupid. They didn't get the game. They didn't understand the situation. They didn't know what to do with the ball. You could tell them 10 times, And literally, like, I remember being one of the captains of the team, and like I knew who the players were. And after every out, like I'm literally calling out to them exactly and telling them what to do. Because like you had players you knew were just baseball stupid, and you would have to remind them what to do with the ball. And that was one of my jobs as a captain, was to continually remind those guys in particular what they were doing on the next play.
Yeah. Uh,
And even then, they didn't always get it right. Because again, like it's one thing, for people that have played the game, you get it. Like when the ball's hit to you, like sometimes you panic. Like you gotta react. You gotta make the play. You gotta get your feet set. You gotta make the throw. You gotta throw the right base. Like there's a lot of things happening, and some guys just panic. Like they just freak out when it happens. Other guys are just like you're just so attuned to it, you just scoop, throw, and
yeah.
move on. But there's a lot of guys that panic, and there's a lot of major leaguers right now that get the ball hit to them and
Yep.
panic.
And John says it, Curtis backs it up. Again, athletes versus baseball
Yep.
players, it's brutal. I wanted to say like I was a cognitive baseball player because in college I played third base, played the hot corner, loved it. If I had a runner on second base that I knew was aggressive, I'm saying in my head, all right, if the ball is hit right at me, like fairly hard, I am going to not even look at the runner at second base and give a hard, solid pump fake to first. Because what is that runner going to do? That runner's going to immediately put his head down and just try to get to third base on the throw, right?
Yep.
So I would just be standing there with the ball waiting for him to come to me. I wouldn't even have to chase him down because he'd just run right into my tag every single time. But
Yep.
if it's to my left or my right, I'm going to get the out at first, right? So, like, I had, as a baseball player, I knew what I was doing with the ball before the pitcher even stepped on the mound to throw the next pitch. Where am I going with this? All right, if there's a base hit to left field, where am I going? I'm going on the infield grass for a cutoff. Like I just don't like I get it. We also played only 44 games. These guys are playing 162. So
Right.
there's probably a little bit of like just going through the motions and they're like, oh shit, like you said, panic. But like as a professional, all those thoughts should be running in your mind every single pitch. Like, where am I going with this ball? If it's hit here, where am I going if it's to my backhand? Because those could be two totally different things. Look at a shortstop with a runner on second. If there's a ball hitting the hole and that runner breaks for third, where are you going with it? You're going to third base with it. Half the time in the major leagues, the third baseman's probably not even covering the bag. But at lower levels, we were always taught that if it's hit to my left as a third baseman, and I know my shortstop can get to it, I'm scrambling my butt back to third base because we might have a play if that runner breaks. You don't see any of that anymore. It's rare. Just crazy.
Well, it is, and that's the thing. Like I think about situations like at third base, you get guys at first and second. Ball to your right, you go to third. You go third to first.
Right.
Ball to your left, you go second to first to get the double play because you want to get the two outs. People will say, but you're not getting the lead runner if you go to second base. It's because I can't if I'm moving to my left.
Right.
If I'm moving to my left, I've got to stop momentum, turn and run. Now I'm only getting one out.
Right.
Whereas I could get a chance for two outs. And yeah, the guy at third base with two outs, if a guy gets a base hit, so be it. Same situation if it was third and first as a guy at second with two outs and I get a base hit, he's scoring two. So it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Like you got to get the two outs. Like and some of these major leaguers, like they only have one play, no matter where it goes. They're making one play. And we've seen so many times where guys have given up a chance at a double play to get the lead runner when they had an easy double play in front of them. Or they throw to first because they had to take one step in. It's like, what the hell? Like it makes no sense.
No. Lost. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did not expect this to be a 25-minute topic, but I love the fact that it was.
Yeah. And Michael says, as a professional, they should have the rules down by now. Yeah.
And you're surrounded by coaches. Like, how do you not know this? This episode, yeah.
This episode is
Just
brought to you by Tom Amansky's Baseball Fundamentals. You can
we
find
should
it on
literally,
VHS.
yeah. For those of you that know what that is, I mean, we could literally do a whole show just like running through situations like back to the days of wheel plays and backups, and like it always astonished me. Like you'd have these incredible athletes, playing high level baseball that did not understand the basic concepts of backing up a play.
No.
Like could go on for that, and major leaguers don't do it either.
No. Wild.
But
All
anyways,
right.
moving on. All right.
Next one.
All right. So as we mentioned earlier, he's got what they're calling arm fatigue, which is, I think, just a cover for we don't know what it is. But they've shut him down and sent him to see a specialist to get his arm checked out. So my question is, because I said this last year when Roki came over, and the year before that when Yamamoto came over, I was right on both of them. Why does every pitcher from Japan come over here and immediately in their first few months get hurt?
For me, and I'm just guessing here, I think it's just completely different um, outlooks on pitching. I think throwing programs are just, you know, completely different than what they do in Japan versus what they do here. That would be my only guess, really, physically. Um, and maybe it's also the level of competition. I think that's part of it too. I don't really know. I mean, it is a trend, like you said. It happens every single time with a Japanese pitcher. Is it
Yep.
because they are brought up in Japan differently and have different throwing programs than they do here? Maybe. I don't really know.
Yeah. I have a couple of theories on this. My first theory is
Witchcraft.
these
That's what John Temple says.
witchcraft. Jeez. I mean, it could be witchcraft and wizardry for all I know. Um, I have a couple theories on this. My first theory is when these guys, the kind of elite level guys, MLB talent level guys, they've got hitters so overmatched that they're not throwing. They're like at 85% over there, 90% over there. They don't have to try super hard because the level of batter is significantly less than the major league hitter. So these elite Japanese pitchers are not challenged over there. So they're not giving you 100% because they don't have to. The flip side is they get here and realize, oh crap, I can't do that anymore. And then I think they tend to overthrow because they're realizing that where they're used to dominating guys that were significantly lesser players,
Right.
and now they're the lesser player, having to prove they belong. So I think they tend to overthrow, and I think they tend to get hurt more often. And then you combine that with the fact that they're pitching more often because they're in 5-man rotations,
Right.
not 6-man rotations. And I think you compound it all to the fact that like they went from being in a league where they could easily dominate and they pitch less frequently to a league where they can no longer easily dominate. They've got to give max effort. They've got to give it everything they've got, and they're pitching more often. These guys are just toast. They're not built for it, and they come over here and it's a nasty, nasty learning curve.
Yeah. Aaron says they're used to 6-man rotations. Baseball history dork says very different mechanics. And now you saying that and me kind of replaying Mark Rogers' interview in my head about how they told him to get off the curveball and start throwing a slider. And that's where he thinks maybe some of his shoulder issues kind of came in because, he'd been throwing a curveball his entire life. And then they told him to kind of change his mechanics to get in with what they're doing. They could be doing this with the Japanese pitchers too. Like, we don't know, but that could be part of it. They could be playing a little bit with his mechanics, like hey, try this arm slot, or hey, how about we try this pitch? And that could lead to arm fatigue because you've been training for, I don't know, 21, 22 years of your life with this certain repertoire. And then all of a sudden the MLB is like, oh, that doesn't necessarily work here. So let's try this one.
Mm.
That could be part of it. I mean, I think there's a lot of factors there. But yeah, and John, you're
Yeah,
right. Traxel said the same thing about having the split for a change, always trying to tinker. And that could be part of it too. I think it's all of these factors we've said, right? The different pitching programs, trying to tweak it. They're not used to the travel. Somebody said that. That's a great point, right? Japan, they're just going up and down the island. That's not
right.
extensive. And they got 500-mile-an-hour trains now. They get there in 10 minutes. So that could be part of it. 1,000%. I think everybody nailed it here. It's
Yeah,
just it's a lot for them to adjust to.
yeah. I think, and there's a lot of having to prove themselves, and they just tend to do too much. But I mean, when Yamamoto came over, I said, watch, he'll get hurt. He missed most of that for his first season. Sasaki missed most of his first season. Ime is going to miss some time right here. I feel like these guys every single time they come over. lately. I mean, we didn't see that with like Nomo and those guys as much, but Nomo had his fair share of injuries as well. But every time these guys come over, I mean, Cody Ponce. I
Yeah.
mean, but he was like a leg thing, but still, like, and yet another guy who comes over and immediately gets hurt. It's this pattern that just doesn't seem to change.
Yeah. Yep. I think we all nailed it. I think it's a whole bunch of these factors that all just kind of get concentrated when you're at this level. I think is what it is. But
Yep. Yeah, I'll be
great.
curious what the final, kind of analysis is on Ime. What caused it? What is it even? How severe is it? Because I would love to hear what they think it actually what the actual source of the injury is, or the fatigue, or the dead arm, or whatever it ends up being. I'd be curious if they actually spend any time trying to figure out what caused it.
Yeah. Hmm.
But all right. So Tony Vitello, our former Tennessee man, now the manager of the Giants, um, has gotten a lot of heat at the start of the season. Some of it deservedly so. He's made some really bizarre bullpen choices, really bizarre lineup choices. Um, Even stuff his own front office is kind of going, well, he's learning, but he's taken a lot of heat. So my question is, was his hiring a mistake, or is this just growing pains from a guy making the leap from college to MLB very quickly?
I'm just gonna sit back and let Aaron, our token Giants fan, take this one. The floor is yours, Aaron. Um, I think it's just a big leap, right? Because I think he's being a college coach, you are in the thick of everything that your guys are doing, right? I think it's part of that, and realizing at the MLB level that you have a professional coach for every single aspect of the game. That you don't necessarily have to have your hands on all the time. In college you do, right? You're with the pitching staff, you're with the hitters, you're with the fielders, like you are kind of everywhere. You are the guy. In the MLB, are you the guy? Yes, I'm not saying you're not the guy, but like you can dial that back a little bit and really rely on the other professional coaches there. So I think it's a little bit of him trying to figure out where those lines are for him, right? It's a massive John Carter just said it's a massive change, right? And you have no professional baseball at all, like no minors, no nothing. You're just coming from D1 college straight to the majors. There's gonna be some growth to be had there for sure. And Highlight says a little too early to tell. That is why Wotus is in the dugout to help with MLB decisions. So yeah, growing pains.
Yeah. So here's Aaron's feedback as a Giants fan.
Yeah, Aaron says it's pretty overblown here. Growing pains for sure. At the end of the day, you have to have the talent and players to execute. 1,000%.
Yeah, and I was not a huge fan of Vitello's hiring because I thought for the Giants, you are a good enough organization to kind of pick a manager. And I feel like taking a guy straight out of college is almost like what a small market team would do when you can't really get anybody else. You just give that guy a chance. It felt like a weird hire to me. I liked Vitello at Tennessee. I thought he did a good job with that program, but he was a kind of an energy rah rah, like in the thick of it guy. And I can't remember if it was Pete Carroll or maybe it was Nick Saban talked about like when you have to make that change from being a coach to being like the CEO at some point. And that's
Right.
where a lot of these guys fail. And it's what you were talking about, Nick, where like as an MLB manager, like you're surrounded by an entire staff of coaches, trainers. Like your job is not to be telling these guys how to field a ground ball and swing the bat. Your job is to put the best team on the field every day, know the situations, know the matchups, know the condition the guys are in, and build the strategy and the game plan. Like that's your job. You're now strategy and game planning. You're
Right.
not techniques and fundamentals. And some guys can't let go of that. We've seen Vitello make some really bizarre bullpen moves, and part of that I think is him getting to know the guys. But it's
Mhm.
also situations. You would handle it differently in college than you do at the MLB level. And I think there's been situations where he's just made the wrong call, and that the best education for him is going to be experience. But he has gotten a lot of heat early on. I think some of it he deserves. He's made some serious mistakes, and I think he'd
Mhm.
tell you he did. And I think some of that is just it's the fact of the matter of he's learning. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't a bench coach for somebody where you got to watch this happen. Like you gave the guy the keys to the castle on day one. Um, you have to expect there's going to be some bumps in the road.
Yeah. Any heat on Buster because of this move? That's a great question, Scott.
There, Buster at a press conference a few days ago got a lot of questions from the media that didn't make him look very comfortable. I think he's feeling a little bit of heat. I don't think that they're necessarily challenging him, but I think they're beginning to question like, why did you do this? Because this doesn't seem like it's a great fit. Again, it's 2 weeks,
Right.
um, but you need to start to see this guy settle in, or you're going to have fans panic.
I think it's also like, and I might be wrong here, but they haven't had great luck with managers since Kapler left, right? I mean, Melvin was there, then left, and they've had a few others in, then left. Like they haven't had been able to have a stable manager for a while. And
Yeah,
maybe this was Buster just being like, hey, what we've been doing isn't working. Let's like really mix it up and just see what happens. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's 1 year, right? I mean, maybe I don't know. It's interesting. But
yeah,
again, it's too early. He's gonna go through growing pains. And he doesn't exactly have the best team out there. Are they good? Sure. They have some great pieces, but uh, the yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just it's a weird situation, top to bottom.
it
Well,
is.
and,
It
and
is,
that's
and
what I'm saying, Scott. But has their roster really been that good? The answer is no. It hasn't been that good. So,
yeah,
like, how much of it actually is his fault? And like you just your job is to roll the baseballs out and hopefully the guys play well. And if they don't, you take the heat. That's just how the role works.
yeah. Being a manager in MLB sucks because if the team plays great, then it's because the players are killing it. If the team plays like crap, then it's because you don't know what you're doing. At the end of the day, you don't take any at bats, you don't throw any pitches, but you take all the crap for it. And I think in San Francisco, I think part of it is just they got off to a really disappointing start, and I think that roster's good. That is a roster that should be competing for a playoff spot. You look at that lineup, look at that pitching staff, like that's a team that should be playing a lot better than they are. But again, we're in the middle of April. It's been a
Right.
couple of weeks. They got off to a terrible start. You got to give the guys some time to settle in and rebound, but it's not looking good. The offense has been terrible. The pitching's been not very good, but you're also not getting great performances from guys that you expected to be good. Logan Webb has not been great. Matt Chapman's not been great. Raffy Devers has not been great. Um, you may look up in a month and have a totally different feeling on that,
Yeah.
but
And
unfortunately, he's the new guy. He's going to get all.
yeah.
They're going to put him under a microscope.
John Carter, this is a good point. If the manager sends 10 guys out on the field instead of 9, I'd be worried. He's allowed to try some different strategy things.
Yeah,
And I think that was kind of my main point is like I think Buster Posey just wanted something different in there because what they've been doing in the past hasn't been working. So let's throw somebody new up. That college coach, what the heck? He doesn't know how professional baseball is supposed to be handled. Maybe he comes in with a whole bunch of different stuff. And we want him to try it because listen, we really have nothing to lose with the Dodgers sitting in our division. Let's be
right.
honest, right? So let's try something completely unique. Maybe that's the route they went. But
Yep.
again, like everyone says too, it's April, right? It's April 12th. So let's just see
Yeah.
what happens.
I will say I generally like Vitello's approach. I think he's got a very different perspective than I think most of your old school baseball guys. I do think the one thing that's hurt him is that he's been kind of open with the media about his thinking, his planning, like what he's learning, almost like he's like kind of like learning in public. And I think in some extent, in some circumstances, they should be telling Vitello to maybe talk less to the media and and not give them anything else to talk about. Because I think he's too open at times, and he's the other day he was talking about his bullpen strategy for the rest of the year, and people are like, "Why are you telling us this?"
Yeah.
And what if it doesn't work? It was, I think he's trying to be open and transparent, and I don't think it always helps to tell the media more because they just turn it on you.
Yeah. Aaron says the common denominator is ownership. They're fine staying in the middle lane playing 500 ball as long as the attendance is there. Winning 107 games in 2021 was the worst thing to happen in recent time. And that's not a bad take, right? In 2021, they win that 107 games, and your fans are now all excited. Oh, yeah, we are so close. We are right there. But it was kind of a fluky season.
It was.
But they played really damn well in 2021. But that does give your fan base a false hope for sure. So that's a great point, Aaron.
Well, as Red Sox fans, we saw it in 2021 when they made that run to the ALCS.
Oh,
Like, oh my goodness, like they're further along than we thought. Then it was like right off a cliff again, and you're like, oh, never mind.
yeah. Because again, ownership was like, wait, we weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah,
Let's dial it back a notch.
yeah. Oops, sorry, we missed on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to do that. For a second, I thought the picture was Robbie Ray. Yeah, because Curtis said when your manager is the same age as most of your starters. Ow.
Yeah, he's the young guy.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's still a little early to tell. It's growing pains right now. Maybe we come back in August and we ask this question again. We might have a clearer picture of what's going on.
Yeah, and I think if the Giants didn't get off to such a terrible start, it's not even a conversation topic. But I think people are just picking at them because they're an easy target, and he's the new guy.
Yeah, 1,000%. Agree.
Because they've been awful, and it's there's a lot of why they've been awful that he can't control.
Right. I agree.
All right, moving along. So, Penner Sports Group. That's the family entity of Greg and Kerry Penner. They are the majority owners of the Denver Broncos. They have acquired, or in the process of acquiring, 40% of the Colorado Rockies. So my question is, with Penner Sports Group coming in, are the Rockies loading up, or is the Monfort family preparing to sell? And is this just the first bite at the apple for the Penner Group?
I don't know. I might have to send a text tonight. Um, I don't know. I haven't read any of this, so this one's all you. I mean, my guess with kind of the talent that they tried to bring in with Lorenzen, Sagano, they brought in some veterans, trying to make that team semi-competitive. Maybe they're trying to load up to sell, like make them a little bit more appealing. Would be my guess, but that's all it is. It's just an educated guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think what the Penner Group does immediately is give some real credibility to the Rockies. The Penner Group, these guys they're disciplined. They have some financial backing. They've done amazing things with the Broncos in a short period of time. That was an organization that just seemed lost a few years ago, and then they stepped in to really put it back on the rails. I think the Monforts are also realizing that they're outmatched. They've been there from the very beginning with the Rockies. They are the founding members of that organization. But they're overmatched. They're in a division where they're now the smallest team, smallest payroll, smallest revenue base, all of it. Like they're overmatched. They need help. So I think this gives them some business partners that get it, as well as some more money to spend. But at the same time, I do feel like the Monforts are not going to step back from their roles anytime soon. But I do feel like this is the first step in the Monforts realizing like our exit is coming. We need to have a plan to get out of here. And maybe we just slowly over time we sell the remainder of this to the Penner Group. Because they're going to they're going to maintain majority ownership for now, but over time they could always swing the pendulum, and eventually the Penner Group takes over. They take a minority seat and let these guys run with it. But I think it sets the Rockies up to have more horsepower in the ownership box, as well as it gives the Monforts an easy way to begin to slowly exit should they want to.
Yeah, and I think having one group kind of start to own your multiple franchises in the city. I think, like you said, it builds up credibility, right? These guys are part of the Broncos now; they're part of the Rockies. Like, who says they don't go after the Avalanche? And it just kind of builds up that whole entire market for Denver. Um, yeah, I think I'm with you on your take. I don't. I'm gonna have to do some digging. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Yeah, and I will say the Penners. I think the Penners said all the right things. They're deeply committed to Denver. They're deeply committed to the Broncos. This is not going to be a distraction for them. Their primary focus is still the Broncos. They have a lot of respect for the Monforts. They want to see Denver sports thrive, and they view this as a great partnership for them to become part of. Great, that all sounds awesome. But at the end of the day, like, you didn't buy 40% of the Rockies to just strike a check and go to the games. Like,
Right.
I'm assuming you're going to get involved and you're going to help push this thing forward, which would be a big win for the Rockies fan base.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if like the oh yeah, huge win for the fan base, no doubt. I'm wondering if part of it is like kind of what you're saying, like the Montforts are like it's becoming more of a chore than it is anything, and that's why we've kind of seen the Rockies like not really be competitive because they're just like we're kind of done with this. Like, and maybe eventually, like you said, like someone does come over and take majority control of it, so like they can just step back and be like, okay, we're good. Um, yeah, I don't know. This is a weird one.
Yeah, and there's a lot of rumors that were flying around that the Rockies were in financial trouble and they needed this like bailout, and which none of that's been proven to be true. I just think the Monforts are trying to add some more horsepower to the ownership group, realizing they can't compete in this new baseball world alone.
Yeah,
Just can't be done.
yeah. The only franchise in Denver that's stinks. Yeah, 1000%.
And it and they were so good not that long ago.
Yeah, yeah. With some key players, like I mean, franchise players on that team. I mean, Blackman, Helton. That wasn't that long ago.
It
Cargo.
wasn't.
Like just tough. Just tough. So I don't know. Like I want the Rock again. Like I want the Rockies to be good at some point in my lifetime. Like I hate that they are. We have to kick a dead horse every episode because they're 5-36 in the middle of June. Like it's tough. So really, really hope that things change for the Rockies.
Yeah, and it's not just the major league level. Like, they're not good at any level. Like, this is a complete reset to rebuild this thing. Like, you're starting from ground zero with almost nothing to work with
Yeah.
but a few prospects.
Yep. Yeah, and aging veterans to fill out your roster.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully things will change. We can hope.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, this is the right move if they're going to go that direction.
Yeah, 1000%.
All right, let's change gears. Get into some trivia. So
Alrighty.
I got some straight up trivia questions for you tonight. We did some Who Is That Guy last week, so we're going to swing back and do some trivia this week. So I got I got a few that the history buffs are going to love. I got some more kind of newer era stuff and a couple of questions that I honestly just found fascinating because I had no idea. So I think this will be fun.
All right.
So let's fire it up. All right. So who had the most hits in a decade in MLB history? So this is the most hits in any single decade in history.
Now, just to be clear, this is like 1900 to 1909, right? And not like 1901 to 1910, because
Correct.
people are going to throw. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, in a clean decade.
Okay. What the other way is not a clean decade?
Well, if you're just picking any 10-year span.
Yeah. Musial's a
That's
good
a great
guess.
guess. Not Musial. That's a great guess. Oh,
Caru's
Cruz,
also
another good one.
another. I mean, Rose also pops into my head.
Yeah, not Pete.
Are we going like way back, like Ty Cobb?
No, not going that far back. Musial, you weren't you're closer to Musial than you are to Cobb. I mean, not by a lot.
Is it Hornsby?
It is.
Is it? It's Hornsby. Wow.
It is Hornsby.
Oh, dang.
2,085 hits in the 20s. So in that 20 to 29 span, he had 2,085 hits, over 200 hits a season, which is bananas.
That's wild. That's a lot of hits.
It's a lot of hits. I mean, the dude almost had, the dude was 2/3 of the way to 3,000 career hits in only 10 years.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I would imagine 10 straight 200 hit seasons or George Sisler. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a good one.
there's a lot of guys that were not far from this number.
Dang. That's wild. That's a lot of hits. That's a lot of hits.
Yep. It's a boatload of hits.
Yeah.
All right. This is a cool fact. What member of the 3,000 hit club was born on the same day Bobby Thompson hit the shot? So he shares a birthday with that moment in baseball history.
It was in the 60s, right? The shot heard around the world was in the 60s.
So the shot heard around the world. Yeah. No,
Was
it was 1951.
51. I was
Yep.
a decade ahead.
I do it all the time.
John Carter Winfield.
It actually is. It's Dave Winfield.
Dude, how do you know that? That's
I
wild.
I didn't think we'd get that one that fast.
Wow. That's a cool fact.
Yeah,
So,
that is Dave Winfield. So Dave Winfield was born on the day of the shot heard around the world.
wow. That's cool. Yeah,
Pretty
like all
wild.
those guys in that era, George Brett,
Yep.
Winfield, 1951, Dodger Blue. Yeah. Okay. So that was a shot. Yeah, my baseball history is not great. That's why we have people for baseball history to come on the show and teach me some more. But especially pre-70s, I get them those decades just all mashed up for whatever reason. But
Yep.
yeah.
I know my baseball card birthdays.
That's what it is.
Nice.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Crazy. Yeah.
All right. Who was the first major league player to hit 2 home runs in an all-star game? So this is 2 home runs, same all-star game.
Goodness. Is that look at the shape of that baseball field, man.
I know, right?
Immaculate. Immaculate.
Beautiful.
Is that's not Sportsman's, is it? What park is that? The dimensions almost looks like Forbes. That's Forbes Field, right?
It is.
It is Forbes Field. Ted Williams is a guess by Mike.
Not Ted Williams.
All right. So if that's Forbes, it has to be a Pirate. So
it is a Pirate.
If it's not Ted Williams,
it's not Teddy Ballgame.
It's got to be first one. So Clemente was after Williams, so probably not him. Nazarowski was after. Is this an ode to Nostalgic Baseball Geezer?
It may or may not be.
Okay, then yeah, that's awesome. I love this. It's the only other Pirate I can think. Kiner. Kiner.
My only other hint was Justin's favorite player.
Yeah, Stargell. Great guesses. Not them. Not Clemente. It is Archie Vaughn for sure.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
It is Archie Vaughn in the 1941 All-Star Game.
Wow. Oh, so he was around. He was around the Ted Williams era then, right?
Yeah, he was a little earlier than Ted.
Wow. Pretty dang.
Look at that glove. Glove is money.
Love it. So I actually had a catcher on St. Joe's, Derek McIntosh, bought a whole bunch of these old gloves. He had like an old catcher's mitt, and they didn't have a pocket. They just had the hard seam like on the inside of your finger and your thumb. So when you pinched it, it created the pocket like here in your palm. And we shagged fly balls with them and stuff. It was so weird, but it was really cool at the same time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Andy Van Slyke. Good guess. Just missed the time period there.
just
But
just a
yeah,
little
man.
off.
That glove was that's such an awesome glove though.
Money.
So cool.
All right. So who was the first MLB Rookie of the Year to be elected to the Hall of Fame? So this is the first player that won the Rookie of the Year and eventually got elected to the Hall of Fame.
I do know this one. This is a fact I've seen before. I'm pretty sure I know this one.
This is one that I've seen before as well. I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta add that.
Yeah, for sure. This is another one of those fields that I wish they just never tore down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely know this one.
Well, it's hard too because like I always forget about the fact like this was in Brooklyn. Like
Right.
it wasn't LA yet. It was Brooklyn.
Right. Yep.
You know, all those Dodgers greats, a lot of them played in Brooklyn.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is indeed. It's got to be Jackie. 1,000%.
Yes, it is. It is Jackie Robinson.
Nice job. Yep. They're all coming in now. Nice job, Joseph, John, Michael. Got it. Yep. Jackie. Love it.
All right.
Another guy I wish I could have gone back and watched play.
Oh man,
Like,
there's so many of those guys from those. I mean, I look back over history. There's so many guys I wish I could see play, but like in that like 40s, 50s, 60s realm, like there's so many guys in that time frame I would kill to go see.
Yeah. Yeah, I always say I was born in the wrong baseball era because I would have loved to have watched them play.
Agreed.
But crazy.
All right, I found this one really fascinating. Who is the only MLB player in history to win the Sullivan Award given to the top amateur athlete? So there's only been one player in MLB history that won the Sullivan Award as an amateur.
Huh. So top amateur athlete in the country gets this award.
Any sport. The person that won it the year after this guy was Flojo. She won it the year after him. Like so it's all amateur athletes across all sports.
That's a Jim Thorpe. That's a great guess.
Great guess, not him.
It's got to be semi-modern because you have a modern stadium behind it. And it's Angels. Trying to think. Darren Erstad as the top punter.
Yeah, no. Joseph's got it.
Jim Abbott, really? 1987.
Yep, he was absolutely dominant at Michigan.
Oh, yes.
And won it in 1987.
Wow. Dodger Blue got it too. Nice.
Yep.
Wow.
I found that I've never seen that question before, and I thought that was so cool. Such a cool stat.
That is awesome.
Or such a cool milestone to achieve.
Well, first of all, I didn't even know the Sullivan Award was a thing, or I would have put in for it myself. So
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm still the top amateur athlete, but couch athlete, that is.
Yeah, say we didn't specify what kind of sport.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Man, that's incredible.
Man.
Forgot how good
that was really cool.
I forgot how crazy good he was at Michigan.
Stupid good. Like the stats are absurd.
Yeah.
Like the video game stats times 10.
Damn. Wild.
All right. Who was the only National League player to win the NL MVP in his first season in the National League? So this person won the NL MVP in their very first season playing in the National League, but had, they weren't a rookie. They had played elsewhere before.
Is this a trick question? It's got to be Shohei, right?
Nope. I mean, he would be the second athlete. So this should say who is the first National League player.
Oh, who's the first?
Yeah, sorry. This should say who is the first.
I don't know, Dodger. Yeah, I was with you, Mike. I'm like, it's got to be Ohtani, right?
It's supposed to be the first.
Dodger. So someone that came over from the AL to the Dodgers.
Yep.
It's got to be right. Yeah, Kirk Gibson.
John Carter
Nice
has it.
job. Yeah, and Curtis got it too. Yeah,
It is
nice.
Kirk Gibson.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, Kirk won the 80 NL MVP after 9 seasons in the AL.
Dang. Yeah, that's a good one. Love that one.
Yep. So yeah, so that should have said the first because Otani's only the second.
Yeah. Michael, be nice.
You said like, wait a second, it's supposed to say first because yeah, there's only two. It's Gibson and Otani, both Dodgers.
Yeah.
How did I miss that? Because it's an oddball stat.
Yeah.
All right. Who was the first player in MLB history to hit 4 home runs in 2 different World Series?
So like 4 home runs throughout the 7 games, obviously, right? Not like
Yep.
4 home.
Yeah, he hit 4 home runs in each of those 2 different World Series.
So it's another Brooklyn Dodger.
Yes.
I got Campanella, Robinson, Pee Wee Reese in my Rolodex, and Duke Snyder. That's all I got in my Dodger Blue Rolodex.
So which one are you picking?
John Temple says Snyder, so I'll go with him.
He would be correct.
Nice, John Temple.
Duke Snyder did it in 1952 and 1955.
Heck yeah. Nice. Good job, Scott. Got it. Go Gil Hodges. That's another good one.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
He'll be added to my Rolodex. But yeah, any Brooklyn Dodgers question, I'm just like Pee Wee Reese, Jackie Robinson, Roy Campanella, Duke Snyder.
They're the answer to almost all of them.
Yeah. But yeah,
So,
nice job, guys. Yeah, the Duke.
Yeah, pretty impressive to do that twice. That's especially in an era that wasn't known for a lot of home runs necessarily.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken Burns.
Yeah, love
I love Ken Burns baseball.
Yeah, love it.
So good. All right. This one's for you, Nick. How many World Series home runs did Willie Mays hit? So in all of his appearances and over his course of his entire career, how many World Series home runs did he have?
Well, I know he has the most extra inning home runs in MLB history, but World Series home runs. I got 2 numbers in my head. Either 24 because it matches his number, or it's a trick question and it's a goose egg. It's those 2.
So which one are you going with?
A 24 seems like a lot, so there's no way. I'm going to say 0 just for the heck of it.
Okay. Looks like Joseph agrees with you.
John Temple says 12. Yeah, Joseph says
Anybody
0.
else got any guesses before we flip the slide?
It's the closest without going over. Price is right style. None. Same as me. 0.
So
2.
the correct answer is 0. Willie Mays has 0 World Series home runs in 20 games. He had something like 79 plate appearances, not a single home run.
Dang. Yeah, he hit them all out to the alley and the Polo Grounds, probably.
Yeah, he just bunch of gappers, but yeah, no home runs. I was shocked that it was 0 for him.
Yeah, I never would have said 0, but I know we get tricky on these every once in a while. So I'm like, it's either matching his number or it's a goose egg.
Yep.
That's wild too. That's a wild stat. Dang.
I couldn't believe it. I had to I researched it 3 different places to make sure it was right. I was like, this feels like it's wrong.
Yep.
But all right. Who was the last MLB pitcher in the 20th century? We're not going back into the 1800s. To get 5 hits in a game. So last MLB pitcher to record 5 hits in a game.
A Yankee?
It was a Yankee.
Was he playing for the Yankees at the time? Like Pettit.
Not Pettit.
CeCe.
That's a great guess. Not CeCe.
Because he could hit a little bit.
He could.
But When did the DH switch? The DH didn't switch over till like 17 or 18, right? Like full time. Yeah, it was like 2017, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
For league
these guys were hitting a fair amount even back in the
hits or hit batsmen.
yeah. So yeah, this pitcher actually got up to the plate, swung the bat, and got a hit.
We got Mike Hampton, we got Jamie Moyer, AJ Burnett, Old Hoss Rathburn, Whitey Ford, Mel Stoudemire. Thinking
It's Mel.
40s. It's Mel Stoudemire. Wow.
September 26th, 1964 versus the Washington Senators. He had 5 hits.
Pretty good day.
He was actually a pretty decent hitter too. I mean, all things considered for a pitcher, but fair number. He had 846 plate appearances. Had a couple of seasons where he hit 200 plus.
Dang.
Not a bad hitter. Could handle a bat.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, since not many major leaguers get 5-hit games, so that's pretty wild.
Fair. Fair. Yeah. So he went out there, beat them on the mound, and had 5 hits.
Wow.
Not a bad day at the office.
That would suck if you got 5 hits and lost.
Yeah, you're the only offense for the day.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
At least he could drop a bunt.
But he didn't need to because he got 5 hits.
Yeah, didn't need to. It's just ripping balls through the gaps.
Man, that's pretty cool.
All right, last one. This is for the history buffs. Who was the first pitcher in Major League history to lose 20 plus games in 2 consecutive seasons?
It's weird that that's not the Sitco sign, but it's definitely Fenway.
Definitely Fenway, going back a ways.
Kershaw have a 5-hit game in 2011. That's pretty cool. Didn't know that.
Oh yeah, there's been a couple of them since.
John says Babe Ruth.
Good guess, not Babe.
I mean, Cy Young lost a lot of games in his career. It's not him, is it?
No.
I got nothing. Yeah, Cy Young was my guess too. I was with you guys, right?
Yeah, lots of decisions. There were a lot of decisions back then. Thankfully for Cy Young, he won a significant majority of them.
Well, he lost more than he won, didn't he? Am I remembering that incorrectly? Or he's just lost the most amount of games?
I think he's lost the most amount of games, but I think he had a pretty
he
decent
still has
winning
more
percentage. Or am I getting him confused with? Oh, yeah, no, 511, 315. Yeah,
315. Sorry, numbers are hard.
Oh no, Kershaw hit a homer and pitched a shutout. Gotcha. Yes.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Oh, Cy Young never pitched it.
And you're right. Yeah, he was pre. Yeah, he was they opened Fenway the year after he retired, right?
Am I gonna know this guy? Like, I'm a Red Sox fan. Am I gonna know him?
I think you'll recognize the name. I don't know the name you'd necessarily place, but it's certainly a name that I've heard before. But I wouldn't have known this necessarily.
I don't have a freaking clue.
Initials are RR. His first name's a color.
Oh, I got it now. Yep.
It's a name that like we've all heard and we all know. Just wouldn't probably be able to place it.
Yeah. I never would have got that without the clues.
Yeah, so go ahead and flip it. We already kind of gave it away.
Yes. Yeah, it's Red Ruffing.
Red Ruffing. He went 10-25 in 1928 and then 9-22 in 1929.
Dang.
Rough.
Ing.
And the worst part about it is he went 10-25 with an ERA of 3.89, and he went 9-22 with an ERA of 4.86 through a combined 43 complete games over those 2 seasons.
And just got your face kicked in.
I mean, not even that bad. Like he pitched to like an average of like a 4 ERA over those 2 years. They just didn't score any friggin' runs.
No. Dang. Wow. Well, he's pitching for the Yankees in this picture, so
Yeah, he's not he was a Red Sox, but he was a Yankee for longer.
yeah,
He's best
and
remembered as the Yankee.
and still pitching for the Yankees when he was pitching for Boston, apparently.
It certainly seemed like it.
Dang, that's wild. Wow, nice ones. Joseph, I missed another one. I have brought dishonor to my house. You never do, dude. Some of these, I get blown away by what you guys know and how fast you can recall it. Like it's just
Oh,
like I learn
it's
something new from you guys every week. It's wild the
I know
stuff you
you
guys
guys
have in your
I know you
brains.
guys aren't Googling them because the answer comes in too fast. It's like,
Yeah.
how did you know that so quickly?
Yeah, and there's no way that I can have YouTube playing on my phone while I'm trying to Google, dude. I'd get it all messed up. There's no way I'd be able to Google, then type my answer into my YouTube small window. Like, no, it's crazy. But yeah, you guys blow my mind with the knowledge and the
Yep.
trivia stuff. It's crazy. Love it. But that's all right. People on Facebook, roast us for not knowing the answer. So I'm glad you guys do. But
It's all good.
pretty cool. Yeah. So, do we have anything else this week? Chat, you can bring up anything you want to bring to the table. It is now, I mean, it's always your show, but it's definitely your show now. So, what do you got for us? Harrison, you got us? You got anything?
I'm going to throw out the fact that Phil Garner, who was a 3-time All-Star, who also managed the Astros to the '05 pennant, passed away at the age of 76. So R.I.P. to Phil Garner, a guy who had a lengthy and decorated MLB career, player and manager.
Yeah. Tough. The stream is probably being filtered through ChatGPT. That'd be awesome.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. Man. Good one. Yeah. Nothing else, fellas? I know it's been kind of chaotic and crazy these first 2 weeks, so it's like hard to have like storylines, if you will. But wow, Twins pitcher Travis Adams made his debut yesterday. He entered high school at age 12 and graduated at 16. Damn.
Wow. Did you guys see the article or not the article, the kind of the highlights of that Chicago White Sox kid who's also like a part-time reporter for his parents' newspaper?
No,
He made his major league debut and won, and then wrote about it in the paper for his parents the next day.
that's awesome. That's great. Josh Naylor plays chess while playing baseball. Did you see that pickoff today? I did not see the pickoff. Send it to me, John, if you can find it. Michael said I didn't fall asleep. That's a plus. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so this guy Duncan Davitt, he made
Okay.
his major league debut Friday night for the White Sox. He was the first player to be recalled from the minor leagues with AAA Charlotte being his departure destination. And then right about the said call the same day in his column entitled "Call to the Bullpen." So he's actually a reporter as well as a ball player.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I just dropped a link in the chat. It's kind of funny.
That's awesome. Yeah, minor league games. I can't wait to get to some. I'm hopefully getting to a Greensboro Grasshoppers game here soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to some Mud Hens tickets now that the weather's starting to warm up. You can't go wrong with minor league baseball, man. It's so great. Love it. As long as you don't go to the Sea Dogs, Harrison, and see them give up 10 runs on one hit,
Man, I would have loved to have seen that. That'd have been chaos. Oh, those innings probably took forever.
Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah. Did you see that MLB's got its first 4-game winner?
No, who is it?
Jose Soriano of the Angels.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Your boy. He's 4-0.
He's a good pitcher, man. He brings it.
He is. He doesn't. He doesn't get a lot of attention.
Well, neither do the Angels, so there's that.
Mean, there's a reason for that, yes.
But
And don't look now, but Leo DeVries hit his first 2 homers of the season down in the minors. The A's are just like waiting to bring this kid up.
Yeah, we will see him in Sacramento before the season's over. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah,
Um,
he is crazy,
should do
crazy
a
good.
segment sometime on the best minor league hats, Aaron. I've got some good ones in my closet for sure. I've got some great ones. I love them,
Yep.
but there's
Oh,
so many great minor league hats.
and did you see that James Tibbs just hit his 8th homer of the year, and the Dodgers are considering calling him up? That trade's working out great for the Red Sox.
Yeah, of course it is.
He's leading all of minor league baseball in home runs, and has basically since he got traded for Dustin May. And I remember sitting here on the show, and I hated that trade, and we ripped it apart, and we were right.
God dang. And then Dustin May just goes and mows down the Red Sox in St. Louis. Go figure.
Yeah, but couldn't do a thing in Boston.
No, man. Yeah, Lombard is definitely tearing up Double A too. I've seen him
Oh
too.
yeah,
I've seen some clips on him. He's coming too. It
yeah.
is. It's just crazy that every week we get on the show and it's like, yep, we're going to see that kid in about 5 minutes. Yep, we're going to see that kid in about 5 minutes. They just keep coming. And I don't know if it's the exposure that we're getting to all of them because of social media, because of MLB TV. Like we can watch minor league games on MLB TV now. Like I don't know if that's the reason that we're kind of focused in on these young kids and we know how they're doing, but it just seems like the talent just keeps coming.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Every night, I swear, it's a new young player. And
Yeah,
Kevin McGonigal hit his first home run.
Yep.
He took Sandy Alcantara deep.
Yeah, he did not have a great start. He did not.
No.
After having thrown a complete game, he backed that up with not so great start. Yeah, Dodger Blue says Tibbs was on fire in spring as well and just carried it on.
Kid can hit. I was so pumped when the Red Sox got him, and then they quickly spun him off for Dustin May, and I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, Breslow's just continued to screw things up.
Yeah. All right. Since we have a Dodger fan in the chat, I want to kind of ask you, Dodger Blue, like, how do you think with the Dodgers? We talked about this last week, I think. The Dodgers ownership came out and said that they would be okay with a salary cap. Like, what are your views on it? We all know and are well rehearsed on, what the Dodgers have done with the contracts with deferring. Like, what are your views on the ownership coming out and saying that they're for a cap? Kind of get your take on that. Because we were kind of torn on it. It was like, were they just playing nice in the sandbox? Are they like really in on it? Or we were kind of mixed on it.
And what does the fan base think? Like, do they see the spending and deferred contracts and all that as like, this is just awesome? Or they see it as like, this is kind of crazy what we're doing?
Right.
It's hard to actually ask like a sane Dodgers fan, because most of them are just bandwagon fans that jumped on because they were good. It'd be nice to actually find out from somebody who's been a longtime Dodgers fan, like, what do you think?
Yeah. Because I think it does I think they said the right things, right? They said for the game aspect, right? For the game, not talking about us specifically, but for the health of the overall game, a salary cap would be good. And I mean, I can get behind what they're trying to say, right? Because they said it's not good for the game if we go off and rattle off 10 World Series in a row. I mean, we'll do it, but and this is what we were getting at, Scott. Maybe they were considering the long-term health of the MLB, and that could totally be it. Tommy Pham's coming up to the Mets. Let's go.
I just saw that it came out like an hour ago that they're calling Tommy Pham up. The dude just doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Him and Craig Kimbrell, they're just they're bringing all the old guys back, trying to find something.
Yeah. Well, you got to fill that outfield hole, but Yeah, I thought that ownership group said that was petty cash. I mean,
Probably.
yeah, but yeah, just it was kind of interesting that it came out, and it's like, all right, like let's get the ball rolling, and then not have the two sides talk. I was kind of hoping that the Dodgers coming out and saying that would spark a discussion between the two sides. To be like, hey, the team that we're all talking about, right? One of the two teams, I should say, that we're all talking about is willing to come to the table. Like let's go. And then it's just nothing's happening.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Have
Dodger,
you
we
been?
were go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, finish that.
Oh, we brought this up to Dodger Blue, and I think we're with you. He's like, Dodger Blue says, I don't think that a salary cap isn't really going to keep them from being creative and getting players they want. And that's exactly what Harrison and I said. It's like, listen, they've either already found a loophole or they found, I say loophole loosely, like they found a way to still be creative. They have the best GM, they have the best farm system, they have the most money, right? Like, they're going to find a way to stay competitive. So completely agree with you, Dodger Blue. They're still going to be ahead of the curve no matter what comes out of the CBA.
Yeah, I mean, a salary cap naturally takes a lot of the creativity out, but it doesn't mean you can't find other ways to make it work.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, like, they're gonna get these contracts will all be grandfathered in anyways. Like, it's not going to change anything they do right now.
Right. Yeah, this salary cap put in place is going to be fully in effect in like 2035.
It's gonna, yeah.
Essentially.
It's gonna take some years to get it in place because the other flip side of a salary cap is the only way a salary cap truly works is with non-guaranteed contracts, and that's another big change for MLB.
For me, I think the whole cap talk is tied to growing the evaluation of the franchises rather than actually winning baseball.
I mean, in theory, it should do both. I mean, the NFL's proven that you can do both. Because you've got you've got a fair amount of parity in the NFL, minus obviously the Patriots dynasty screwed that up. Although they only won, was it 6 in 20 years, so still a long run there. Then you have the Chiefs run off a few, and I mean, so you've had some bunches, but you've had a lot of teams in the playoffs, a lot of teams in the World Series or the World Series in the Super Bowl, a lot of teams winning divisions. Just you haven't had as many win the whole thing.
Yeah. Players are never going to give up guaranteed contracts. I would agree with that. I think that would be the one thing that they would have to concede on if they make all these changes.
Yeah, it's hard to build a salary cap with contracts that are guaranteed because then if a guy gets hurt or a guy can't perform, you're stuck.
Yeah.
And you've got no way to spend around it. Like right now, you can spend around it. You can just go get into the player and pay luxury tax if you need to. At a cap, you can't do that.
God, imagine this would just absolutely be incredible. I still
That'd be
say
so
void
cool.
all contracts and redraft the league with a salary floor and cap.
I mean,
Imagine if we could
that'd be must see TV to watch that draft.
imagine if we could somehow set that up, Harrison. We get the whole list of names of everybody in the MLB right now and all 30 teams, and then me and you draft which each team would spend like it'd be like an 8-hour episode and just redraft the entire league.
Yeah.
We should try to find a way to do that. That'd be sick. But yeah. Some of the owners versus go ahead.
Yeah, they spent almost $10 billion on that team. It was mind-boggling number.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling number. And you've got the Padres could sell at $3.5 billion, which would be a record sale for MLB.
And in my eyes are not worth $3.5 billion. That's crazy.
No. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, have one of us per team and let's go. I would love to do that. That'd be absolutely incredible. If we could somehow figure out a way to do that, that'd be so cool. That's an idea for 2027, 1,000%. We could definitely spend some time trying to figure it out, how to make it work, but I'm all in for that. Let me put that in my trusty dusty notes here.
The Seahawks got valued at $14 billion. Where? That would be nuts. Forbes valued them at $6.7 billion.
Curtis isn't up for blowing everything up. He's like, blow everything up? Nah.
Huh.
Yeah, let the viewers all pick a team. That would be really cool. We'd have to figure out a way to do it. I mean, 30 people doing a draft with every single player would be pretty wild, but we'll figure out a way to do it. I'm on it.
It'd be
I'll
so
work on
cool.
it. Yeah.
It'd
I
be
got
so
the next 2 days off. I'll see what I can fix up here.
That
But
would be fun. We should
yeah.
and we should all pick a team that like isn't our team, because then we're not like we're just trying to draft the best team.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take the Raleigh Renegades because we should probably make it 32 since,
Since it might get there.
Yep. Yeah. He was thinking both
Oh.
Northwest teams together, Blazers and
That would
Seahawks.
make total sense. The whole package.
Yeah. But yeah. Dang.
Still an absurd value.
Pocket change.
Well, and it makes an expansion team at $2.1 billion seem like a deal.
Yeah. Mike Reed wants the Rockies or Marlins. All right.
I like it.
Yep. That would be really cool. We'll have to figure out something for sure. I'll rack my brain tomorrow, see what I can come up with.
We'll have time to kill in 2027.
Yep. MLB has guaranteed contracts and more expenditures, whereas cap leagues have more stable expenditures and increased team values.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
So yeah,
it's also hard because like your biggest cap comparison is the NFL, and their revenue is absurd.
yeah, but NFL's king. Like MLB's never going to be able to compete with that.
I mean, the Dallas Cowboys last year, it was 1.27 billion in revenue and $577 million in EBITDA or net income, which is after they paid all their bills, and they're valued at $12.5 billion.
Yeah.
Like the poorest NFL teams are making double what the average MLB team makes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, here you go. Arizona Cardinals are the poorest NFL team at $580 million in revenue. That would put them in the top 5 of MLB.
Yeah. It's apples and oranges.
It's not close. It's a tough comparison. And these teams are all crazy profitable.
Yeah. Right, because NFL is on national TV every Sunday. Like that's one of the things that they don't have to finagle.
Yeah, the average MLB team makes almost no money, no profit. The average NFL team is making $200 to $300 million in profit.
Yeah. Yeah, Jerry bought them at 116 million. That's a little bit of a profit margin there, just a little.
Absurd. I mean, it's it is wild.
Yeah. Oh, the Warriors are rumored in the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, they're the leading group to buy it.
Yeah.
He's the guy we talked about. That's kind of like the collector. He just wants to accumulate. He wants to build out his own sports empire.
Yeah.
Like Fenway was doing, like Walters is like the Walters or Guggenheim is doing.
NFL's trying to go to more Friday games as well. Man, they're gonna have games on. They're gonna have games on every day of the week here soon.
It's getting ridiculous. It's Monday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, Sunday, always. And then playoffs time start, they creep into Saturday.
Man. Do you think that would help the NFL or do you think it would hurt it? Because like it's NFL Sunday. And then if you just start kind of sprinkling it in throughout the week, are people still gonna watch it?
Oh yeah. People are
I mean, yes, but I mean to the same degree that they would on like NFL Sunday.
Well, I mean, Sunday's still going to be the number one day, but I think you'll catch people that will watch the other times too. because like the hard part is like if you move to Saturdays, you compete against college football. That
Right.
college football fans might be even more insane than NFL fans.
Yeah,
Like
that's
they're not missing their college football for the NFL in most cases.
yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
But anyways,
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else for this evening?
that's it.
I got nothing else either. I will, like I said, I'll kind of rack my brain and see what I can come up with, and maybe I'll come up with a different couple ways to do it. Throw them off Harrison, and we'll kind of get it figured out for maybe 2027. That would be kind of cool to do. Just throw everybody, almost like a big fantasy draft, but for all 30 teams. That would be pretty dang cool. So,
Yep.
um, we'll work on it and see what we can do. But again, thank you guys so much for spending the 2 hours with us every show. It means the world to us that you guys come back and choose to listen to us and choose to chime in and be part of the show. That's exactly what we want this to be. Oh, and then yeah, we could plug them into MLB the show with the results. That would be really cool.
Turn this into like a massive fantasy draft and then like play it out.
Yeah. So, but again, yeah, thank you guys so much for what you guys bring to this show every week. I mean, it's your points and the fact that we are all from different fan bases and we can just civilly talk about baseball like grown adults is absolutely incredible. And it's exactly the type of atmosphere that we want to build in this community. So we owe that to you guys. Thank you again so much. Enjoy your week of baseball, and hopefully your teams can turn it around, because I think all of our teams that we root for aren't doing too hot. So I hope we can all get it turned around, and we'll touch back on Thursday. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you in the comments.